Let's talk visitors and visitor cabins. The first quest related to visitor cabins you get now is make yourself at home. Once you do this quest, it'll give you your own cabin, and the day after you do that quest, we'll have a new quest, Friends and Family. This will be the quest that unlocks visitors and visitor cabins. And this is a little bit different than it had been on Apple Arcade when we started, so if you're transferring over to Steam and Switch, after having played on Apple Arcade a while ago, this probably looks different to you. So let's track the quest and talk to My Melody. She says we have work to do. Ever since she repaired the visitor cabin for me, she's been thinking about what to do with the others, and she has a plan. Cabins are all over the island, and we need to repair them to restore the park, and then we can invite even more of our friends as visitors. She tells me to repair a visitor cabin, I need 3 strawberry crates again, and this kicks off the quest, Friends and Family. So I'm gonna go over to the side. I am playing this on Steam Deck, so pay attention to what the buttons are on your screen. Interact with the sign, ask me if I want to repair it, I repair it, there's an animation, and then the visitor cabin is open. She reminds me these are going to be all over the island. We can customize, decorate them as we want, and gives me examples of Dear Daniel and Mimi as some of our first visitors. We have to decorate it to their taste, and then they'll show up. And she reminds us of her store and that we can get things there. And then for this quest, she makes me go to her store. Once I'm at her store, I need to talk to her again, and she reminds me that different visitors have different tastes, and we need to look at the visitor app in our phone to find out more. So if I go to my visitor app in my phone, here's Dear Daniel. When I open it, it tells me a little bit about him. We can see he has 0 stars. I don't have any cabins that he likes, but he needs a cabin in Seaside Resort to be near Hello Kitty. This is Hello Kitty's boyfriend. Any 3 pieces of furniture, and a Mama's apple pie. I also see on the left he likes things with a music tag. I don't think I have any of those right now. Mimi is Hello Kitty's younger twin sister. Also needs to be in Seaside Resort. Have 2 baked goods and 5 pieces of Hello Kitty furniture. Okay, let's talk to My Melody again. Yes, I checked out the visitor app. She reminds me of Dear Daniel's requirements, and then she tells me to buy something from her. I don't love this part, but to progress with the quest, I have to buy furniture from her store. Her furniture is feeling expensive to me right now. Okay, I'm gonna buy an aquarium. I can also show you another feature with the aquarium. Our next task is to add it to the cabin. So if I head into the cabin, that bottom right icon that kind of looks like a house with the letter Y, maybe a wrench in it, whatever button that is, that's going to take us to decorating mode. That button again, the one that's on the bed, that'll bring up my furniture, and I can use the left and right buttons to scroll through furniture and other items. So I just need 3 furniture. I know that Mimi is going to need my Hello Kitty furniture, so I'm not going to use any of that for Dear Daniel. Here you go. Have a table. I don't think it matters if I use the aquarium I bought or not. I'll put that there anyway. And a stool. Beautiful decorating. Now I also need to place Mama's apple pie, which I need to go make. I make it with just 1 apple. Make one of these. I do have Hello Kitty with me, so there's a chance she gives me an extra. She did not. Okay, back in here, back in decorating mode. Over to my baked goods. I can put the apple pie anywhere I want on the floor, but if I want to put it on the table, it's not going to let me here. At least at launch on Steam and Switch. If you're watching this video much later, there's probably been an update and you will be able to do that. But if you're playing now, what you need to do if you do want it on a table and you don't need to have it on a table, first place the table in decorating mode, then walk up to it. You'll see this little hand icon. Click whatever button that is for you. You'll have all the different things that can go on the table. Baked goods are going to be 1 click over, so hit that right bumper button. It kind of looks like a loaf of bread. This is where my pie is going to be, and then I select it, and now it's on the table. I can actually do the same thing with the aquarium. So if I walk up to it, interact, I can put a fish in it if I want to. And now if I go into decorating mode, you see the suitcase on the left-hand side. When I click the button, I can see it satisfies Dear Daniel, so I should be all set. Now for the sake of the quest, we're going to return to My Melody, but we're also going to decorate a cabin for Mimi, so I can show you an additional feature, but let's wrap up this quest first. Talk to My Melody. She says he'll show up any day now, and to check what visitors like and make a cabin to suit them. Not all visitors can visit all the time, so check back and see when they're traveling. This completes the quest, Friends and Family. Now, if I check my visitor list, we have a ton more visitors. If I click on any of them, I can see their requirements, the things that you'll need. Some of these I won't be able to do yet because I don't have their items unlocked. And some of them you'll see this little gray no sign next to. So if I look at My Melody's grandma, you see right under her name it says not traveling. Then this one that has that timer icon on it. traveling until February 3rd. Traveling visitors rotate weekly, and traveling visitors only arrive on the island Thursday through Monday. Their schedules are all over the place. Some of them come every other weekend, some every 4 weeks, some every 5 weeks, partially so you're not overwhelmed with visitors in a given week. My Melody will tell you who should be coming on the upcoming Thursday through Monday cycle in her announcements, at least the ones that may be available to you, so you can prepare their cabins in advance. Other visitors are seasonal, so Baku only travels in the fall, Macaron only travels in the spring. Pam and Tam are currently traveling. They are seasonal, but they only travel in the winter and in the summer. Additionally, you see on this page that there's a star rating on the top right. Each time a visitor visits, you'll have a new daily quest in your quest log. Be sure to complete it when you do, and then go and talk to the visitor. When the visitor is on your island, they'll give you a daily gift if you talk to them, and if you do their quest when they're there, their star rating will increase by 1. And then once they have 5 stars and you talk to them, they'll ask to move in, tell them yes, and then they'll be on the island permanently. Now, sometimes you may not be able to do their quest because it requires an area you haven't unlocked yet, or it may require a certain level with the character, and so you may not get a quest. Also, if you have more than 3 visitors on your island on a given day, you only have 3 spots for quests, so you may not get a quest from them. I think that they'll stay until the next day when they have an opportunity to give you a quest, so be sure to log in the next day just to see if they do have a quest for you. But if it's locked behind something else, you may not see one. The visitors that you see on a given day, in addition to being limited by those traveling schedules and seasonality, and then you also have visitors like this who can come all the time. Which visitors you see on a given day will be random. When a visitor visits and you do their quest, their star rating will increase by 1, and then they'll leave your island on the next day. So you won't be able to see them 2 days in a row if you've done their quest. So the most a visitor could visit is every other day if you had perfect luck and they're not a traveler. So especially for some of these harder to get visitors, one of the things you can do to improve the chance of them coming is to not only meet their requirements so they have a chance of coming at all, but to include items that they like. Over on the left hand side, you can see like tags. Mimi has a pretty easy one, just baked goods. So I'm gonna prepare a cabin for Mimi. You can unlock any of the visitor cabins now. Do be careful with your strawberry crates since they are limited in number. Let's go inside. I'm gonna go into decorating mode, open up my furniture menu, go over to furniture. I know she needs 5 Hello Kitty items, so I'm gonna place all of those. Oh, do I have 5 Hello Kitty items? I thought I did. Maybe I do, and they don't care how nice the cabin looks. You can also see on the right hand side, I can see Mimi's face by the specific item she requires. So let me put this over here. I know that Dear Daniel requires furniture and an apple pie, but Mimi requires this specific furniture. So I'm gonna make sure not to put an apple pie in her cabin, because then Dear Daniel might move in here and I don't have a place for Mimi. So that's something I recommend. She needs 2 baked goods, so I'm gonna just put floor cake. I need to cook some more things. Now this is all she requires. So if I hit that left button, you'll notice it's different than when I did Dear Daniel's. On his, we only had the visitor tag over here and no hearts, but on Mimi I have 2 hearts, and that's because of her like tag. Dear Daniel's like tag was music, but I didn't have any music items. I could probably craft a music box or something. But for Mimi, Mimi's like tagged is baked goods. And I already put down 2 baked things, so for each one I put down, I get an extra heart. So if I put another one, you'll see now I have 3 hearts for the 3 different baked goods I have. Each of those is gonna increase her chance of coming. You max out at 5 hearts, so if you can put 5 things that the visitor likes, you'll maximize your chances of that visitor coming. So that can work in your favor, especially if you have those travelers coming, the ones who only travel sometimes, or maybe even the seasonal ones, or if you have a favorite visitor that you really want to join you. So keep that in mind when preparing cabins for the visitors. Pay attention to that like tag, you'll find it under the character's picture. So for Mimi, baked goods. My Melody's Mama, it's sweet things, anything with that sweet tag. For Azuki, we have the coffee. Cappuccino is spicy. Chiffon is trophies, so like that plain trophy, or any of the ones that you craft from doing the island challenges. Espresso likes books. Mocha likes pink things, which you probably don't have this early in the game, but you will soon. Berry likes joke items, so like the water balloons. Baku likes spooky things. Macaron also likes pink things, and some of these visitors have event tags that they need. So for instance, Macaron needs 5 items with this rose tag, The rose tag is the Hugs and Hearts event. It only runs for about 2-ish weeks in February usually, and she won't travel until the spring. Spring will start in March, so she will be traveling in March, but the event to get her items is in February. So if you were to start in March, you missed that February event, you won't be able to get her on your island unless you can trade for some of those event items. Or you get really lucky and get them from Kurobi, or if you have the deluxe version. So that's one of the advantages of the deluxe version, because you'll have a year's worth of event items. So if a visitor needs those items, like a macaron or like Tam needs summer's end furniture, and he travels in winter and in summer. So if you get one of those pieces from Kurobi, or if you have the deluxe version, you could potentially see Tam traveling sometime in February. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until the summer when he travels again, and we have that event. There are terrariums in the game where you can display critters, just like we did with the fish. You can also just place the critters on the ground and they'll be animated. They stay in place. You can add the critters to a cabin this way. Sometimes that's really useful if you need a tag from a particular biome. As you can see on the bottom right, each critter is tagged with the biome that they come from. So if you're trying to find items, the swamp tag or that tropical tag, unless it says something specific like clothing or furniture, you can usually use a critter to fulfill those. Also keep an eye on your baked goods tags. I don't have any in my inventory right now, but you can see a really cheap way to make My Melody's Papa's cabin is to just put some pieces of tofu out. If you want to display clothing in the game, and sometimes you need to, you'll need to do that first quest with Tuxedo Sam, where you find the clothing stands around the island. After that, he gives you the crafting plan for the clothing stand. We used to only be able to buy these when they're on rotation in the shop. I'm not sure if they'll continue to be, but you may also be able to buy them. You can craft these yourself just with 5 sticks, and once you do, in decorating mode, let's go to furniture, select one of our clothing stands, place it in the cabin, and then just like with the tables, we need to walk up to it, interact, and then we can place any single piece of clothing on the clothing stand, and that's the way you have to do it to display clothing in a cabin. So if I need pieces of clothing for a cabin, for each one I'm going to need to craft a new display. Other visitors may require multiple pieces of clothing. So for instance, Mocha needs 5. We would need to place 5 clothing displays, walk up to each one, and display a single piece of clothing on each one. You could also set up cabins to meet more than one visitor requirement, but be aware that they can't live in the same room. Eventually, you will be able to unlock the ability to add additional visitor rooms to a cabin, and that'll make it much easier to fit everybody in. I'm setting up a cabin for My Melody's Papa, going to look amazing. I'm just gonna put down some more tofu, and you can see my beautifully decorated cabin satisfies My Melody's Papa. And if I want him to really like it, we need things with this tag over here, the veggie tag, and so you could cook things, or you could simply add some spinach. For each spinach I add, I get another heart. So if I really wanted him to visit, I could put as many as 5 spin up in here. Let's see, here's number 5. I need to go collect some more. Now I have 5 tags. That makes them much more likely to visit me tomorrow. Though you can, of course, make really nicely decorated visitor cabins. A little paint roller icon, whatever button that is for you, that'll bring up your inventory of wallpaper and flooring, so if you want to change the floor and walls, you can do it that way. Also, the icon with the box will ask if you want to remove everything in the cabin. I do not. This is beautiful. He will love it. Another feature that you probably didn't notice, if you go up to the sign of the visitor cabin and interact with it, after it's been unlocked, we have this option in the bottom left to swap. So if I click on that and I select one of these other visitor cabins, say yes, swap all contents, there'll be a little animation. And now when I go in here, all of that stuff we set up for Mimi is now over here. So if you want to rearrange your visitor cabins, if you want to change your own cabin without having to take everything down and redecorate, we have this really easy feature right here. So I'm going to swap them back. I think this is the one where I put his stuff. Swap back. Oops, that was Dear Daniel. Yep, that was Dear Daniel's cabin. Let's swap that back. I think My Melody's Papa's stuff was in cabin 7. Okay, now, yes, okay. So here is Mimi's stuff in cabin 8. So I switched her and Dear Daniel by accident, so I'm going to switch them back. I do wish you could see these on a map when you're doing swaps. It'd be a little bit easier that way. But let's put Dear Daniel back in this cabin. Mimi's in that one. There we go. But now you can be decorating for visitors. I'm probably going to stop at 3 for right now, because remember I can only have 3 of those tasks per day. I can't get chiffon right now because I haven't done the quest to unlock some of this furniture. I'll probably do a video on where it is though. Otherwise, I might focus on her since she's traveling this weekend, and then we'll look and see who is traveling next and make their cabins too. There is an additional feature that is not unlocked yet in this game where you can pay additional strawberry crates to add rooms to the visitor cabins. That'll unlock through a quest, so you'll have a walkthrough there, and that'll make it so much easier to fit all these visitors in. Hopefully this gives you a better idea of how visitors work and how to unlock them. Now Hello Kitty Island Adventure, if it did, consider giving the video a like to help others find it as well. Subscribe for more Hello Kitty Island Adventure content. There are a ton of video guides on the channel. I try to stream all the new content from the updates, and I'm playing through on the Switch version live on the channel. Turn on notifications to find out the next time we go live. Hope to see you there.